Hey, what is going on everyone? Welcome back to another Clash Royale video. And in today's video, we're going to be breaking down the Mega Night Challenge. So the Mega Night Challenge is finally upon us here. It took them quite a while to really release it, but it is here. And this challenge will be running from the 25th to the 27th of August here. And like most challenges, really you get one free entry, and after that you really have to just pay. So it's going to cost you 100 gems roughly to just enter again. And it is going to be a standard challenge where you have 12 wins. Unlike the 20 win challenge that was hosted just recently, you will just have to get up to 12 wins. Now with this being said, it is not going to be quite an easy fet here, so let's get right onto it. So I prepared some notes on the challenge, and these going to be just general tips for you all. Some of you would have known these from my previous guides, but anyways, I just say them just for you to just be aware of them. Our first tip is going to be about the duration time. So the event is going to be spanning across these 3 days, and in every match you're going to be playing for up to a maximum of 6 minutes. So what you want to do is either take 1 tower, 2 towers, however many towers you need, and if you are able to do that in 3 minutes, you're good to go. However, if you need to defend like against a bad matchup, you will need to play very carefully so that you stretch out those 6 minutes, and just try to be very careful while you're doing that. So this challenge now, it is not going to be draft, it is not double elixir, it is not triple elixir, heck, it's not even 2v2, even though that is permanent now, and I am really hyped to just have that back in the game right now. How do you feel about it? Anyways, you are going to be getting either 12 wins or just fighting your way up and getting knocked out along the way just trying. So 3 losses, you are out. Now in this challenge you are going to be given access to every single card in the game right now, inclusive of the Mega Knight. So you can build your decks however you want. However, the catch is that you have to use the Mega Knight. So everyone is going to be using this card, so it's one card that you can account for in every match. Anyways folks, let's get right down to the stats of the Mega Knight. So he is going to come at a cost of 7 elixir. His base damage will be 240. His spawn damage and jump damage are 480. His hit points are 3300. His jump range should be 4 to 5 tiles, and his hit speed is 1.8 seconds. So picture the rate at which a P.E.K.K.A swings. That's basically how fast he attacks, and his movement speed is exactly the same as a ice column or a mega minion, anything like that. So medium move speed, that's what he got. Now let's just talk about some of the cards that he kind of resembles. So the Mega Knight is sort of like a combination between the Dark Prince, the Bandit, and maybe even to a lesser extent the Ewiz. So he's kind of like the Dark Prince in the sense that he does splash damage for each of his attacks there, and he is like the Bandit because he's able to dash over a small range, and sort of like the Ewiz there, he has his own enter the arena or spawn damage. So you might be wondering about using and countering these cards. Well folks, I have prepared a little tips for you all to just keep in mind when using the Mega Knight. So like I said before, the Mega Knight is a melee troop with enhanced abilities, so he can engage units from afar with his ranged jump attack, and when he does land he deals 480 damage, and it splashes 360 degrees around him. So when he is done doing this jump attack, he will do a 180 degree splash attack in whatever direction he's facing. So it's kind of like the Dark Prince in that manner there. So with these mechanics in mind, you would want to use him where you know there will be a group of troops, so he can just land in that average spot. So when he does jump, he is going to immediately deal 480 damage, and almost immediately he begins his next attack. So this is just enough to kill wizards, musketeers, barbarians, all of that stuff there is going to die to the Mega Knight. Now a good thing to keep in mind is that much like the Executioner Tornado combo, the Executioner, well not the Executioner, sorry, what am I saying again? I meant to say the Mega Knight this time. The Mega Knight and Tornado are going to synergize fairly well because you can group up a lot of troops together, and it is going to deal massive amounts of damage to anything caught in that area. However, it is not going to be able to hit air because the Mega Knight only hits ground. So if you're ever in a pickle and you have Tornado in your deck, you can consider using the Mega Knight and Tornado to kill a bunch of troops. Trust me, it is worth the elixir. And don't forget, if you're using the Mega Knight and he is fighting troops that are of medium to low HP, he can potentially do some chain kill attacks. So what I mean by this is basically clearing the troops in one area, then jumping to the next, killing those, and then moving on to another area, and so forth and so forth. So if he could jump as fast as the bandit dashes from one target to the next, then it surely spell the end for us all. So Lord have mercy on all of our souls here. Anyways, it is important that you remember he is going to engage in a jump attack almost immediately if he has just killed the target, as long as his new target is within his jump range. And as soon as he lands, he is going to begin attacking once more, so his first attack will be slightly faster than the others. And you should also keep in mind the fact that unlike the bandit who locks onto a target and then dashes towards them, he is going to just basically jump to whatever's closest. So if he starts jumping and he is mid-air, he will land wherever the closest target is. So if you drop something right where he was before, he will jump back onto that same spot. And when he lands, he also does a small pushback effect there, and it's roughly like 2 tiles, so it's kind of similar to the effect of a bowler. However, it only applies when he jumps and lands. So it's just something for you to keep in mind. And in fact, if you just time it correctly, you can shut down a hog completely for 0 hits. I repeat, 0 hits. And you can even get rid of a goblin barrel if you time it correctly when you just spawn him by a tower. You just have to wait till the shadow just crosses the river or somewhere around there, and if you can just time it right, you will be able to clear all of the goblins from the goblin barrel. And now let's just talk about building your deck. So when you're building your deck to support your Mega Knight, it is important that you pack some troops or spells maybe that can deal with air troops, such as a Mega Minion or Baby Dragon. Now the reason why I said this is because the air troops are going to be safe from the Mega Knight's attacks, so naturally a lot of people will bring them to just deal with him very easily. Now it is important that you remember the Inferno Tower and Dragon will be able to be hard counters to the Mega Knight, so it is important that you bring something that can reset their charges, like a E-Wiz, a Zap spell, or maybe even a lightning spell. So that's basically how I'd say you should be using the Mega Knight, or well, just how he works overall. So if you want to know about countering the Mega Knight, I also have some quick tips here about how to do so. So let's get right to it. So as we mentioned before, his biggest weakness will be air units, and this is because he can't target them, and he can actually get rid of most but not all ground troops with ease. So troops that will counter him on the ground will include stuff like the mini P.E.K.K.A, the knight, the P.E.K.K.A as well. P.E.K.K.A is a hard counter to the Mega Knight. The Prince also works fairly well. Surprisingly, for 2 less elixir, he can be a pretty decent counter. So aside from these cards, you will also have the Inferno Tower and Inferno Dragon Beams being very deadly against him. So if you can carry one of these cards with you in a deck, it is going to be very nice, and you can have the building factor if you run the Inferno Tower, and you can have the troop factor if you bring the Inferno Dragon with you. However, it is important that you realize a lot of people will be running the lightning spell. I saw a lot of people using lightning, E-Wiz, and the zap spell is also fairly common, so you might want to be very careful when using your Inferno cards. So just be very careful, and if you can bait out these cards in any other situation, like if you have a pump or something, or maybe even a minion horde, and you can bait out those zap spells and the lightning spells, you can be good to go. And just know when to pressure the other lane, because if you can do this, you should be able to split up your opponent's elixir and they will not be able to support the Mega Knight properly, so you can just clean it up with an Inferno Tower or the Inferno Dragon. So it is important when using the Inferno Tower that you place the tower in the anti-lightning position so that they can't hit your towers and your Inferno Tower at the same time, so they have to choose between the Inferno Tower and your troops. So now that we've discussed this, let's go back to the Mega Knight now. So did you know that the Mega Knight can actually be countered by the skeleton army? Well, he can be countered by it on some occasions. Now it is not 100% consistent because he does splash a lot of them. He has a lot of HP, so you have to place it just right. It will kill off almost all his HP. Even guards, they struggle as well, so try not to use them too much unless you are able to use them against the P.E.K.K.A decks and stuff that you will see with the Mega Knight. It's kind of weird. The decks out there are just really strange, but if you're able to use the Ice Spirit or Fire Spirits in your deck, they also do a good job at distracting the Mega Knight because they're able to get their jump off while making him waste his jump. Anyways, so let's get back to the counters and stuff again. So as I speculated from the beginning, the Mega Knight will die to the P.E.K.K.A very easily. She is going to be the hardest counter to him, if not one of the best. So if you are going to be fighting the Mega Knight on your side and you have a P.E.K.K.A, you should be able to use her defensively. Just place her directly on top of the Mega Knight there, and what this will do, it will just kill the Mega Knight within around 4 shots with the assistance from the arena tower there. And if it's just 1v1, the P.E.K.K.A should take roughly 5 swings at most. So the P.E.K.K.A is a fairly common counter to the Mega Knight, so I'd advise walking with maybe a Inferno Dragon or Inferno Tower to just deal with that as well. And last but not least, we have the Mini P.E.K.K.A and the Musketeer. So if you're able to distract the Mega Knight for long enough, you should be able to use these cards to just clean up defense nicely there, and they should be able to provide you with a lot of value. So if you can combo it with like a knight or something like that, you should be good to go. Anyways, let's get back to some overall tips for the challenge. So as always guys, you will want to ensure that your internet connection is stable before playing, because lag spikes can mess you up really bad. Trust me, I fought with a lot of lag, so I lost a few entries because of it, so I had to restart from the beginning. And you'll also want to rid yourself of any distractions such as television, radio, maybe, well, not so much the radio, but any family or anything, any pets. Just stay in a room where you can be alone and just focus on a match. And last but not least, just make sure your device is charged up, because you don't want your battery running dead on you. And with regards to the best time to play this event, usually the first day is the best, if not the last, because the majority of the casual players will be playing on the first day, and by the end of the challenge, basically on the last day, you will have a lot of the pro players or more experienced players finishing up their challenge. So you should be able to run into some easier matches then. And just be patient overall guys. When you're playing the challenge, just manage your elixir very carefully and try not to overcommit on any offensive push or any defense there, because if you do this at any point in time and you just mess up your card rotation, you can fall prey to your opponent's traps if they have their rotation set up. So just stay calm overall. Even if you are towered down, don't give up. Giving up is the worst thing you can do, so just keep your head in the game and just focus on what is in front of you. Anyways, I have some card suggestions for you all here, and I hope that they prove to be very worthwhile. So our first cards will be the Inferno Dragon and Inferno Tower, like I discussed before. They're going to be able to just melt any P.E.K.K.A, any Mega Knight, any bulky troop that your opponent thinks to bring. It should be able to deal with them fairly well. The minions, Minion Horde, and the Skeleton Army are also good choices depending on how you use them. Just make sure that your opponent's spells or splash troops are out of rotation before using them. Beware of arrows, beware of zap, and beware of poison in particular. All of these cards are fairly common, so you might want to be very mindful of when you use these cards. So moving on, we have the P.E.K.K.As. The big P.E.K.K.A and the mini P.E.K.K.A, like I said before, are going to be doing a ton of work on the Mega Knight, so they are very worth the elixir cost. And win conditions, where win conditions are concerned, you can bring a Hog Rider, if not a Battle Ram. I prefer the Hog because it is just faster overall, and it is just nasty for 4 elixir. The Battle Ram is good as well, but with the amount of P.E.K.K.As running around, I don't think it may perform that well. But at the end of the day, it is still your choice, so you pick which one you think is more worthwhile. So coming up next on our list, we have the Electro Wizard, Lightning, and Zap. All of these cards will be handy to reset the charges of Inferno Towers, Sparky, and Inferno Dragons. So it might be a good idea to walk with any one or maybe even 2 of them. Heck, if you can fit all 3, go for it. It can really just throw your opponents off. And next on our list, we have the Baby Dragon and Bats. These cards are good to protect the Mega Knight from Inferno Towers and just more solid troops or just flying troops overall, like the Mega Minion and stuff. So depending on how you use them, you should be able to find that they would provide a lot of value. And next on our list, we have the Poison Spell. The Poison Spell is going to be very good against people running the Minion Horde and stuff, and you can get a lot of value if you can catch a pump in it as well. And some people ran Graveyard. I'm not sure why, but they chose they chose to run the graveyard, so it is a straight counter to the graveyard, so you can choose to use the poison on defense if you have to. And then we have the tornado spell. Like I mentioned before, tornado combos are going to be very efficient with the Mega Knight depending on when and where you use them. So if you can build a splash deck with the Executioner and Baby Dragon and stuff, you should be good to go as well. Just play very carefully and you should be good to go overall. Just watch out for those P.E.K.K.A.s and make sure that you don't mess up your defenses. Next on the list we have the Bandit, Miner and Goblin Barrel, maybe even the Princess as well if you have the audacity to use any of these cards. So all of these cards listed can be very annoying to deal with, and they require attention in some way or the other. For just 3 elixir, they provide a lot of value. The Miner deals with pumps, he deals with princesses, and he can be used in a lot of other ways. The Bandit is always great for 3 elixir dashing across the map, and it just keeps your opponents on their toes. The Goblin Barrel, a good card to punish with, and the Princess is also great for defense and chipping away at your opponent's towers. So these are all the cards that I had to mention really today, so I hope that they make sense to just bring in your decks and that they help overall. Now there's one more thing that I'd like to mention before we go here today, and that is if your opponent makes the mistake of dropping their P.E.K.K.A. in the back of their arena tower, you can just go ahead and push the opposite lane there, because what this will do is just screw them over a little bit, because they already invested 7 elixir in one lane and they can't afford to defend the Mega Knight so easily unless they kite their they use their troops to kite the Mega Knight towards the P.E.K.K.A. That's the worst case scenario, but other than that, you should be good to go. So just play careful guys, watch out for P.E.K.K.A.s, watch out for Goblin Barrels. I saw a lot of that stuff there, and if you like one of the decks that I'm using, I will link it later, or I will just write it in the description or something like that when I have the chance. I'm gonna be going out soon, so I might not be able to fill in the description or anything, and I do apologize if there's any noise in the recording here. I kind of had a lot of things going on and I couldn't record where I usually record, so yeah, excuse the little bird noises and stuff there. Do forgive me for that, folks. And before I forget to mention the rewards for the challenge, at 2 wins we shall get 1500 gold, at 5 wins we will get 100 gems. So that's basically a entry right again there. If you failed before, you can enter again if you hit 5 wins there if you are broke on gems. So yeah, that's a pretty nice reward there overall. And then at 8 wins we will get a giant chest from our current arena. That's pretty handy there if you need the common and rare cards for the upgrades. And at 10 wins we shall get 15,000 gold. Isn't that a lot of gold there, folks? It is a heck of a lot of gold. So if you are able to get at least 10 wins, I'd say you did well. Personally, I did win the challenge on my main account, however I kind of failed miserably at 10 wins many times on both my third and second account. I just gave up because tomorrow I'm going out and I have to go out as well right now, so I don't really have the opportunity to finish the challenge. I'm willing to do it, but I can't. So I guess I could just settle for the 1 Mega Knight on my main account. That's still something. At least it's better than nothing. Anyways guys, at 12 wins, at 12 wins we shall get the Mega Knight. So it's a free legendary, folks. If you're able to fight your way up to 12 wins, you did a heck of a good job there. So pat yourself on the back there and just congratulate yourself. You'll be the envy of your friends for roughly 2 weeks until the Mega Knight is available for everyone to purchase in their shop if they're at least arena 10 and above. So Mega Knight is a good card overall. I like him, but if you guys don't like him, I can understand that too. I think he may be nerfed because he has a lot of value for the 7 elixir. He can push back stuff and things, so he's pretty darn strong. So if you guys unlock the Mega Knight, do let me know down in the comments below. I'm eager to hear what you all have to say there, and I hope that the guide does help you out in the challenge. And guys, I hope that you can forgive me for bringing you this video so late. I've just been so busy in real life, it's just really darn hectic for me. School is starting back soon, so this may actually be the last challenge guide that I am able to post. So if you guys find that I am not uploading much, it is because I'll just be busy with school. So I hope that you can forgive me for that there. I will try to upload once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks or something like that. I'll try to squeeze in a video when I can. No promises yet, so do just be aware that I will not be that active anymore. Anyways guys, that's gonna be it for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed, and as always guys, remember, if you keep on digging, you'll eventually strike gold. But even then, keep on digging deeper. You'll eventually come across something even more worth your while. So once again everyone, thanks for stopping by, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Peace out guys.